Okay, all right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the 20 marketing mistakes that most people make, and we're gonna say it's the 20 marketing mistakes that, we're gonna call this that most real estate agents make. So we're really just kind of focus this in on the real estate side of the business. So these apply, obviously, these are principally, they apply to any business. But we're gonna try to take it, kind of break them down just a little bit. We're not gonna spend a ton of time on this because they're pretty self-explanatory, but I'll give you a little bit of context for each of them. So not testing all of your marketing. This is number one, and it's definitely, there's a reason that it's number one. When it comes down to a lot of our marketing, we get stuck, we buy something and maybe we're not tracking the result of what that is, and we just continue to do it. And as you start to add different marketing and different lead acquisition strategies, what you'll find is if you're not tracking which ones are the ones that are getting results, we tend to kind of assign on our credit card that they're all, these are all, I can't cancel any of these because my clients want me to see me doing this or that or the other. And I'll give you an example. I was doing newspaper ads. That tells you how old I was. I am. But back in the day, I was doing newspapers, full page ads in the newspaper. I mean, these were giant pages that I could show you these. And it cost me like $4,000 a month. But I never tracked the results. They only came out on Sundays. Every company started doing them after I started doing them. And so I felt like I had to do it because my clients wanted to see themselves in the newspaper. And I kept doing it until I decided to put tracking numbers on it. When I put tracking numbers on it, guess what the average number of calls I was getting from this $4,000 ad that I was running? 2. You know why? Because no real estate company in town is open on Sunday, so nobody was calling on any of the ads. People would drive around, sure. People would see the ads, sure. Was there some value? Yes. But I wasn't getting anything that I could directly attribute to the bottom line. So if you're not testing and tracking all your marketing, you're not going to know what's working, what's not, what's getting the greatest return on investment. So you want to make sure you have a system for that. You can have every phone number track. You can have every phone number on every website track. There's so many tools out there that allow you to track your marketing these days. Your URLs, so every place you have a URL or a link, you can track every single thing in your business where no one could possibly walk through the front doors of your office without you knowing how they got there. So number 2, running institutional advertising. So I see this a lot. You may have tried it. Send out a postcard, see what happens, and you didn't get a result maybe. And you stop doing it, of course. One thing that and I want to write this down next to it, is it's direct response. Okay, so direct response is, hopefully you can read that. Direct response has a strong call to action. So if everything you're doing doesn't have a really strong call to action to it, then you're not going to get an immediate result. And that's why a lot of marketing doesn't work. So once you really understand, which we'll talk about a little bit here in a second as we get down here, there's a couple of things that really kind of tie all together here. But if you're not trying to get a direct response with your marketing, it's likely that it's not going to work. So you'd have to spend a ton of money. We're not Coca-Cola, we're real estate agents. So we have to make sure we're getting the best bang for our buck. So you want to make sure you're using direct response and not just image style advertising. Number 3, not articulating or differentiating your business. Probably one of the most important things that you can do is what makes you different. Articulating the benefit, the true benefit that someone's going to get doing business with you, and making sure that you do that in all of your marketing. That's what you want to be known for. It's not enough to just say, you're someone who cares and someone who has integrity. Those are what's considered table stakes. You have to have, those are table stakes for you to be able to be successful in real estate or any business. So what is it really that truly differentiates your business and really truly makes you different? So for us at NAEA, the tool we use is we have a proven repeatable system to sell your home for up to 18% more than the methods of traditional real estate agents. Would you like me to show you how you do that? And that's something that every seller wants, right? So it truly differentiates. It's a system that we created at NAEA for our members, and it's something that will really help you position yourself above the competition and really be able to deliver on that value. So number 4, not having a back-end product. This is something that if you're going to spend the money to acquire a customer, the more you make with a customer, that allows you to spend more on acquiring a customer. So when you can partner with different businesses such as mortgage and title and insurance and all of these people that every time you spend $1, they all get paid, then they should be investing in this process as well. So if you can find a way to make more money by partnering with some of these other different types of companies, you're going to have the ability to spend more to acquire a customer. The fifth one, not understanding the real needs and desires of your client. This is a huge. When you start writing, your marketing materials, know who it is you're talking to. Who is it you're trying to talk to? Is it someone who just had a divorce and they need to sell a home? They're going to feel totally differently about their situation than someone who is moving to buy a larger home. Maybe they're wanting to move up to a larger home. So if it's a buyer that's a first-time home buyer and they have certain needs and desires, make sure you're speaking specifically. What are their concerns? And in your marketing, make sure that you're speaking directly to them and no one else. Number 6, educate your way out of business problems. Don't cut price. This is what my competitors do. They cut price every single time. So when it comes down to someone giving you an objection, rather than say, oh, well, I'm going to drop down to 5% or drop down to 4% or whatever, instead of dropping in price and cutting price, you want to educate your way out of these situations. You want to be able to educate along the way the value that you bring and continue to reiterate the value that you bring, so that when it comes down to someone wanting you to cut your price, you don't actually cut your price. That's a big deal. And if you are cutting price, what that tells me, if you're cutting your commission if you do it ever this year, that you're not clear on what it is that you need to articulate that differentiates you from everyone else. Does that make sense? So this is really a byproduct. Having to do this is a byproduct of not having number 3. Number 7, not making doing business easy, appealing, and fun. Nobody wants to do business with a stick in the mud. Nobody wants to jump through a million hoops to do business with you. Try to make your business fun. Try to make the process fun. Think about working with a real estate agent. People interview 5 agents or 3 agents, and they come out and spend hours with them, and you got to fill out all this paperwork. Try to make that process as easy as you can for them, for the client, and make it appealing and make it fun. A lot of different ways to do that. Number 8, not telling your clients the reason why. So behind every single thing that you do, so no matter what it is, always give them the reason why. This was a huge mistake I used to make in my business was, there was all these things that I would do, but I never explained to them the reason why we would do certain things. We started putting systems in place that really check all the boxes of, well, why do we do it this way? Here's why we don't do open houses anymore, and we do in my market, but here's why we don't do them on every home. If I didn't explain that to a seller, guess what they expected every Sunday? Me to do an open house. So tell them why we don't do them every Sunday and explain that to them. They understand, they get it, and then there's not any heartburn about that if they don't have an open house every Sunday. So in every situation, always being able to explain the reason why to the customer and do that in your marketing. So terminating marketing that's working. We've all been there. We're doing something, it's working, you're getting deals from it, and then all of a sudden you stop doing it, right? So why is it that you would stop doing something that's working? And I can tell you there's a little equation that I'm not going to break down for you here today just because we probably don't have time. But there's an equation that's called the cash conversion cycle. It's knowing that if you're spending this amount of money on something that's working, when is the payback going to be for that? And paying attention to how many months is it if I spend $1,000 a month, 5 months later I've spent $5,000, and is the return on investment, when do I break even? You sell one house that it pays for. If the days on the market is, let's say it's 60 days, which in everybody else's market right now is probably a lot less than that. I realize that. But at 60 days, you're looking at, you're going to be, list a house, it goes under contract, 90 days later you get paid. So you're going to be lucky to get a check for that first closing in 90 days to 120 days, so 4 months maybe. So 4 months down the road, you're making an investment. You may think, I'm only going to spend $1,000 a month, but you're taking out of your cash flow, you're taking $4,000, $5,000 before you ever break even. Then start profiting. So just have to know what that conversion cycle looks like so that you don't stop doing things that's working. The other thing is that you're not delegating things and you're not hiring people to help you with keeping things and systems in place. Number 10, not specifically targeting your marketing. So this goes along with Really goes along with not understanding the needs, real needs and desires, and then not specifically targeting. So if you're gonna be do marketing, and you want to target upscale homes because the average sale price is 3 times what it is for targeting first-time home buyers, for instance, which is going to give you, you can spend the same amount of money to market to either type of segment, right? You can market to first-time home buyers, or you can market to upscale, move up luxury or second home buyers or whatever. And which one of those has got a higher average sale price? But either way, you want to make sure you're specifically targeting someone with your marketing, not just generic buy any home type marketing. Make sense? So 11, capturing email address and phone. Simple today, most everybody's doing this, but don't miss out on the opportunity to capture email address and phone. If that means you have to offer something that they can have shipped to their address, if you're capturing it online to offline, which is really one of the next ones here. Yeah, here it is right here. So number 13, not having, no, I saw it a minute ago. Here it is, 14. Not utilizing offline and offline strategy. So you want to capture email address and phone number because you might want to capture someone online and mail them something offline. So if you don't get address on your website or phone number, you can't call them. So you can't call them, you can't communicate to them. And if you're not capturing, address, maybe you got email, but you didn't get, address, you can't mail to them, you don't even know who they are, you couldn't go by and knock on the door. So making sure that you're capturing all of these so that you can utilize offline to online and online to offline marketing strategies. Take advantage of both sides of the fence there. Number 12 is not being strategic. Really try to think of what is it I'm trying to accomplish, and is this the best way that I could possibly have that, accomplish that goal. So say you want to get more customers from referral, and you want to send out, for instance, like I did, I used to send out a magnet that was a Oklahoma Sooners magnet. Great. I feel like everybody should like the Oklahoma Sooners, but unfortunately that's not the case. In fact, a large majority of my clients in my marketplace are not Oklahoma fans, they're OSU fans, or they're fans from any other college from all around the country, because people go to different colleges and different schools and come from different areas and different backgrounds. But if I mail that to every single person, am I gonna really be getting the best result? Probably not. So if you're mailing something like recipe cards or calendars or things of that nature, is that the one thing that's going to really make you preeminent? Is it going to be the one thing that makes you professionally relevant and personally relevant to them? Probably not. So think about asking those two questions before you do any marketing. And sales situation is shooting from the hip. So, if you spend the money on the marketing, don't just show up and not be prepared. So if you're in a selling situation and you need to be able to present, you need to have done the homework. If you're not doing that and you're spending money on marketing, you're still leaving money on the table. Even though this is a sales, the 20 mistakes in marketing, this is marketing done well puts you in sales situations. And if you're not optimizing what you're doing in the sales situation, then you're leaving money on the table and it's costing you more to acquire a customer than it should cost you. 16, being stuck doing what works. Man, this is one that's hard to deal with sometimes, right? You've been doing something that's been working for a long, long time, and you just kind of keep doing it because it's what you've always done. And that's definitely not a place you want to be when it comes to marketing. You got to always be iterating on making it better, tracking it, seeing how you can improve it, and testing it against whatever your best marketing piece is so that you can improve that. Number 17, not reinvesting your profits. The best way to grow your business and really squeeze out the competition is reinvesting your profits back into marketing and growing your business faster. That's how you achieve exponential growth. 18, leveraging lifetime value. This is a big deal. If you don't know what the average client is worth to you, so let's say that a raving fan to you close the deal and it's worth $5,000 commission. So if that client's worth $5,000, what are they worth over the course of your career? Let's say you're going to be in business 20 years, and somebody moves every 7 years. They're going to move 3 times. If they came back to you 3 different times and bought 3 different times, that's 6 more transactions if they stayed local. What if you could get them to send you 1 referral every single year? What would the lifetime value be of that customer? And are you tracking that with your business? Are you tracking that currently with your database? Those are huge numbers when you look at it. So, and what are you doing to stay in touch with those people? Are you leveraging and taking advantage of and optimizing the lifetime value of your raving fans, the people that know, like, and trust you and love you? That's a big one, right? Number 19, maximize everything you do. So no matter what, if you're not maximizing your time, you're not going to get the greatest result from your marketing. If you're not maximizing the time you spend on an appointment and how you qualify who you're willing to drive across town and meet and not drive across town and meet, if you're not maximizing every single thing that you're doing in your business, if you haven't made the decision and commitment to be an optimizer and maximizer, then you're probably spending more time, effort, and energy to get a lesser result. And you want to commit to that in everything that you do, and that's going to help you to get more money out of your marketing. Number 20, integrate marketing and sales. This is simply just making sure that whatever you're doing with marketing is tied to what you're doing with sales. Don't run marketing that comes in over the weekend if you don't have someone answering the phones. I made that mistake with my Sunday ads that I ran that nobody called in on. Thank goodness nobody called in because there wasn't anybody there to even answer the phone. So back in the day when we used to do that, it was absolutely a waste of time because the office wasn't even open on Sunday. So that's basically your 20 marketing mistakes that most real estate agents make. Don't make those mistakes, and hopefully you've been enjoying the Jay Abraham content and enjoying what we're doing there, and make sure you get registered for the upcoming teleseminar, and we'll see you on there with Mr. Jay Abraham himself live. He's a very expensive gentleman to try to corral and get into this type of situation where he can share some perspective with you, and I think it's going to change your life. I really believe that, so hope to see you on the call.